I'm here at Malvern Hill, part of Richmond National Battlefield Park, a place where more than 160 years ago, thousands of lives were changed in the crucible of war. And yet today, this quiet field invites us a very kind of work, the work of peace. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, burdened, or simply disconnected from your inner calm, you're in the right space because it's these battle scarred grounds can hold space for healing and presence. So can we. Hi, I'm Sheila, a certified stress management coach, here to help you stress less and find more peace. Before we begin, let's take our 5-second breath together. We're going to breathe in for 5. We're going to hold for 5. And now we're going to let go for 5. Let's do that one more time. And as you exhale, imagine releasing some of the heaviness you've been carrying. We're going to breathe in calm for 5. We're going to hold for 5. And now we're going to let go of any heaviness for 5. As someone who worked in HR for over 20 years, I've seen how conflict, pressure, and people dynamics can leave us emotionally drained. My own journey into stress management coaching began when I realized that the real fight, it isn't always external, it's within. And standing here on this peaceful ground that once shook with cannon fire, I want to share 3 lessons this place offers us. Lessons to move from tension into stillness, from reaction into presence. Lesson 1, recognize the battle within. Malvern Hill was the final battle of the 7 days battles in 1862. What strikes me is how people came here worn, desperate, facing the impossible choice between advancing and retreating. In our own lives, our internal battlefields can look the same. A racing mind, a heavy heart, a body holding tension. Pause for a moment. Breathe. Notice your internal terrain, your thoughts, sensations, and emotions. Naming them lets you observe the battlefield rather than living in it. Lesson 2, use the terrain to your advantage. At Malvern Hill, the Union forces chose a high vantage point overlooking the river and open field. Ground that gave them strength in our own inner world. Our terrain might be the practices we build: breathing, mindfulness, journaling, coloring, gentle movement. These are our vantage points. They help us see clearly and choose peace instead of reactivity. Pick one small practice today, maybe 3 deep breaths or a quick body scan, and use it as your hilltop view. Lesson 3, move forward. Even in the quiet after the smoke cleared, these fields returned to meadows and trees began to grow again. War ended, healing began. Our personal peace works the same way. Progress often happens in silence, not in grand moments, but through consistent steps. Maybe you shift the way you speak to yourself. Maybe you pause before reacting. Maybe you offer yourself compassion. Those small actions are how we reclaim our inner landscape. So as I close from this hill, where another battle once raged, but peace now blooms, remember, the terrain may challenge you, the battlefield may be real, but your vantage point is in your hands, and each mindful step is a step toward peace. If this message spoke to you, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts below. What inner terrain will you stand on today to find calm? You can also take my free quiz, How Stressed Are You?, to discover what's really underneath your stress, to be able to move forward in more peace, receive tools to start shifting it, or grab my free guide, 7 Steps to Discover the Deeper Why Behind Your Stress and Start Your Journey Back to Peace. You'll find the link in the description too. You can also find my calming word search and coloring books out on Amazon. And if you love natural stress relief, it's another way that you can incorporate. Visit my affiliate of partners at Simply Earth for essential oils and soap. All the links are below. In peace, and until next time. Before we end today, for my history enthusiasts, let's honor the history of this part of the Civil War at Richmond National Battlefield. Though I stand here at Malvern Hill, this area around the city of Richmond, Virginia, was the scene of repeated major battles across 4 years of the Civil War, from 1861 through 1865. Here are a few of the most significant engagements. The Battle of Seven Pines, also called Fair Oaks, took place May 31st through June 1st, 1862, near Henry County, Virginia. Confederate General Joseph E. Johnston attempted to overwhelm isolated Union corps under General George B. McClellan. The result was inconclusive, but Johnston was wounded and the command of the Confederate Army passed to Robert E. Lee, a major turning point in leadership. The Battle of Gaines' Mill on June 27, 1862, northeast of Richmond, was the largest of the 7 days battles in the Peninsula Campaign. Union forces under John Porter held the line, but Lee's army broke through, forcing McClellan's retreat toward the James River. The Battle of Glendale, June 30th, 1862, also known as Frazier's Farm, was part of the Union rear guard's withdrawal during the 7 days. The fighting was fierce and confused, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. And right here where I'm at, the Battle of Malvern Hill fought on July 1st, 1862, the final and most decisive of the 7 days battles. Union forces held the high ground, overlooking the James River, and repelled repeated Confederate attacks. Nearly 5,300 men were killed or wounded in a single day. 2 years later came the Battle of Cold Harbor, which was from May 31st to June 12th in 1864, one of the bloodiest engagements in the war. Union troops launched massive frontal assaults against entrenched Confederate defenses and suffered terrible losses. A grim lesson in the cost of war. Each of these battles and many smaller skirmishes around Richmond remind us that this land was once hard-fought ground, is now peaceful as you walk these fields. May you remember that our inner calm sometimes grows where conflict once reigned. Richmond National Battlefield Park preserves more than 80 miles of Civil War history, from Gaines' Mill and Cold Harbor to Glenfield and Fort Harrison, each with its own story of struggle, courage, and transformation. When we walk these grounds mindfully, we honor those who never saw peace in their lifetime. And if the echoes of war here can soften into quiet, then the turmoil within us can settle into peace. Again, in peace, and until next time. I will do what I can to have you view this way. That sun. Old house here. I'm not sure if that was here during the battles. All of this out here. And it's kind of hard to believe that on a Saturday, we are the only ones out here. Yeah, I can't really see the river. Do a full circle here. There is a 1.5 mile loop right in this particular spot. That's what's in front of me. I'm in the shade, so the sun can't bother me, and I do not have the wind like I did when I was at Gettysburg, so that is a blessing. All right. And peace.